All right, so for those new to the channel, this, like many of the decks that we play, is a viewer submission. So this is Turbo Sejuani or Turbo Gangplank. Both Sejuani and Gangplank have the exact same level up condition, where it says, if you've damaged an enemy nexus in 5 different rounds, Sejuani levels up. Sejuani, very powerful card. When she comes into play, Frostbite something and make it vulnerable. And then she has Overwhelm as well. So Frostbite sets their power to 0. And then usually she can force them to block by making them vulnerable and kill something. So this is a top-end threat finisher, but also a removal spell a lot of the time. Her leveled mode is a little bit bigger. And then also says the first time you damage the enemy nexus each round, Frostbite everything your opponent has in play. Gangplank's a little bit less impressive. He's just a 5/5 Overwhelm that comes with a Powder Keg, but levels up on the same condition as Sejuani, and then when Gangplank attacks, it's more reasonable. He deals 1 to everything, in addition to summoning a Powder Keg each turn. The rest of this deck is a variety of aggressively slanted cards to allow us to not only start generating damage to level up our champions on every turn that we have an attack token, but also with tools like Warning Shot, as well as things like Monkey Idol here, making powder monkeys for us. We also aim to deal damage to the opponent on their turns as well. So a lot of the time with a good draw in this deck, you can have your Gangplanks and your Sejuanis leveled up as early as turns like 5, 6, and 7, which is really impressive. Now, one decision that's been made with this build is that you'll note that there's kind of a high number of ice cards, Fridge Lord, Fragilia, whatever you want to call them, in here. And this is a little bit of a downside because Yordle Grifter, in order to nab, depends on Alliance. So basically what this deck is saying is that it's happy playing a 3/3 for 4 that just generates a Warning Shot. Which I'm not sure if that's the case. We're going to play some games and think about that, but there's a chance that maybe Ruthless Raider or Kindly Tavern Keeper here is better served as more Bilgewater cards, so we can hit that Alliance more consistently. We have 1 copy of Babbling in here as well, which is kind of sweet. The only units in our deck that cost 5+ means we're getting a Gangplank, a Sejuani, or a Riptide Rex with this one every time. So let's go ahead and dive on into some matches here with this one and see how it goes. Yeah, I think testing out Smooth with Leviathan and Swain seems potentially very interesting. For those of you that are new to Runeterra, the Master System, I am not rank 1. This actually means we're at the very bottom of their Master System. So in Runeterra, you collect points as you play in Masters, and the more points that you have, the higher ranked you are. It is not playing Bounty Hunter. I agree that that is a good Bilgewater card we could consider. I think I'm going to mulligan Rex and Tavern Keeper here. Probably a Monkey Idol too, honestly. Looking for some cheap things to start getting some aggression down. Ideally, I'd like a 1-drop so we can start leveling our champions right away. Yeah, I agree that Monkey Idol is basically always a keep. Zero LP is technically the bottom. Yes! We're above some people at 1. Right on time, Jagged Butcher. Welcome to the party. How do you feel about Make It Rain here? It triggers my champions. It might just be right to play Ruthless later post-combat. Oh, I get to Butcher too. Yeah, that's the play for sure. Make It Rain into 3/3. Triggers my champions for the first time. You'll see my champions pop up here because they meet their level up condition.
There's plenty of killing left.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're going to go ahead and open on attacks next turn. It's a little bit sad if they have Elixir. So Crimson Disciple here is interesting. That means my opponent's deck's likely on the more aggressive side. And there's that Elixir. And the fact that they're playing these Crimson cards means that they are more likely to have things like Elixir to help save and enable them. So, Monkey Idol here, 0-5, deals 2 damage to itself at the start of each round, and then summons a 2-1 that's ephemeral that deals the damage to the enemy when it dies. So this gives us damage triggers on their turn, which is great. And they don't really have good attacks here into my Monkey Idol. Opponent disagrees. Yeah, I feel like they should probably rename the MTG bot. They should probably just name it like Card Game Bot. Plunder, get an empty mana crystal. Yup. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Yeah, the opponent, that's the emote at the very end of the pass, right?
Loyalty through conquest.
Sure.
Everyone pays. Ready, Rex? Not yet. Go to go. Let her rip.
Let her rip. Corral, thank you for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And they could have, like, another Swain here as a blocker, right? Sure, you got it. Thanks for the 15 months, Corral. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Where did the Wolf Rider come from? Their deck.
From the savage cold. You own what you take.
Bye, friend. I mean, we're definitely an aggro deck.
We survive.
We survive. The animations are so smooth in-game that they make your webcam look a little sluggish, and that's crazy. Yep. Yeah, this game streaming at 60 FPS really picks it up. My webcam's only 30 frames a second. Which, actually, it's funny. Christy actually just got a really nice regular camera that actually supports working as a webcam. I might set that up to use when she's not taking pictures. The Yak lives. Thank you for the 13 months, by the way. Ezreal Twisted Fate. Alright, I think we keep Monkey Idol. Maybe I keep Kindly Tavern Keeper, because they're probably more aggressive. Being able to gain 3 is good. What sort of camera did she pick up? I'm going to be honest and tell you I don't know. If you ping her on Discord, I'm sure she would love to talk about it.
Let's get to it.
Drew 2-0. Good luck at the rest of your laddering. Yeah, the Wolf Rider was real good. Not bad. So it's turn 3, and we've got two tokens on each of those, which is great. Whoever just asked because chat cleared and reloaded, it's a Canon EOS 90D. Well, there you go. It's my lovely wafer self. Pretty sure we're firing off a parlay here at end of turn just to get my trigger in. Yeah, I think the opponent's deck is closer to the aggressive end of the spectrum than the controlling, but they're definitely a mid-range deck. Which, for my Magic viewers in the audience, if you're not familiar with what mid-range means, it's an archetype that's sometimes aggressive or sometimes controlling, depending on its matchup.
Never lost a fair game, or played one. Something for all of you.
You know the value of coin.
Say your farewells.
I was really baffled when I got to Runeterra for Magic. There's actually something in the middle of aggro in that game, yep. It's not quite that far gone. Well, mid-range was playable back during Guilds of Ravnica standard. Format was great. We have 1 point towards leveling the Ezreal here. Probably going to open Warning Shot into Black Market Merchant when we get priority here. I guess it depends on what they do. If they like play Twisted Fate out, we might do this.
Safety will cost you.
You want to bank a Warning Shot for the Sejuani? Maybe? I guess that's fair. I don't have a Sejuani though.
Warm hearts and hot soup.
Warm hearts and hot soup. Block. Yeah, would love to draw like a shark cannon. Okay, this gives us a very clean make it rain target here, which is nice. Actually, you know what? I think I'm supposed to wait on this. I'm supposed to use that on my next turn to trigger plunder for this. That's what I'm supposed to do there. Yeah, I should have made it rain on this turn. So I could have had that. All right. Well,
I was forged by winter.
just like we drew it up, chat.
Pain is nothing.
I'm always up for a round or two. Dead in their tracks.
Thanks for the top end tech. Yep.
A game. Go on then.
Watch the ball, folks.
I think I'm gonna do this in Black Market Merchant this turn. Yeah, it depends on like what we draw off their deck and what they draw for, what we draw for ours here. How we want to start next turn, I think. They do have a warning shot rolled up, so like if we shark them, they could definitely shark us back. Yep.
I'll give you work. Run if you don't. Don't take go.
I think we just push them to have the Rex here. If they don't have Rex of their own, the game is over. Getting Twisted Fate off the table also has a lot of appeal.
They'll be blown in the water.
Yeah. Riptide Rex is practicing his role in the Matrix over here.
Reloaded. Yum yum.
And now the problem at this point is they've got 5 cards in their hand. So like we don't really have a catch-up mechanic in our deck. Our deck is aggressive and like we just have some card quality that can help us at this point. But like here, like I just like can't even play a threat down now because they'll die to their Mystic Shot. Yeah, we don't have like any 2-for-1s to draw now. Like Babblingberg is like our only 2-for-1. Rex and Babbling are our 2-for-1s. And if they don't have units in play, Rex isn't really a 2-for-1.
Never lost a fair game. Eyes open.
And I am just going to pass here rather than give them a target for this Mystic Shot. Maybe they'll get greedy and Mystic Shot our face, then we'll play both of these. They did not. It's good play on the opponent's part there.
Fight or die.
Well.
The Winter's Claw.
I think they're just leveling Ezreal. Yeah, they're just leveling Ezreal. Matthew Daubert, thank you for the 23 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. The new sweet Graveyard Synergy decks in Runeterra.
And they call me a shark.
There is, Mogwai was playing an Undying deck today. It looked pretty good. One's been around the fringe of the format for a little bit. Seemed relatively competitive on his stream. There's also, the 7-drop. There's also some decks that play Harrowing. I'm gonna keep babbling here. They're another mid-range deck, so having some card advantage sounds good. Hopefully they play an X1 out on turn 1 or 2, and we can parlay into Black Market Merchant after we bank a spell mana on 1. You like Undying, but it is a rough time versus Anivia. I mean, I don't think the Anivia decks... Anivia isn't, like, super on meta at the moment. It's not like when Braum had a power, the Anivia deck was everywhere, but like, saying something has a bad Anivia matchup, I don't think is a reason to not play it at the moment. Well, that's kind of a medium steal. It's a good plunder enabler. I mean, it's a plunder enabler. Good is a strong phrasing. I will definitely give it plunder enabler though.
Safety will cost you.
Nailed it.
One good turn, friendo.
Hey, friendo. You know what, with 2 warning shots here, I'm gonna go ahead and fire this one off to level these. I mean, this Leviathan was on the bottom of their deck, so, like, they weren't gonna draw this Leviathan anyways. Just, like, for reference.
Leave your bags at the door. Master your demons. This one's on the house. You pick the losing side. Who's gonna close up?
I think I'm gonna go ahead and parlay this here.
Their time has
Could they give me something better to parlay later? Parlay with a barrel also upgrades to kill a Twisted Fate. It's gonna open on attacks with Swain and get me next turn, unfortunately. Alright, we might just get burned out here. Like, we're leveling our champions up, but we're also just, like, dying.
witness.
Yeah, maybe my attack is wrong there because of the Swain in play. That's fair.
Up there in the mountains.
Sejuani's leveled. So we got that going for us. Babbling is very, very good. Big agree.
Fight for your lives. Carved from the savage cold.
Let's see if they have another Arachnoid Sentry or way to stun this here.
Ride onward.
How do we feel about doing this? And then finishing with this?
You gotta believe me. Sacrifices must be made.
The extension does not show leveled champs, unfortunately. Dead to another fervor. They just tossed a fervor though.
My legacy.
I mean, I'm at 3, so like dead to a Leviathan here.
Prepare the cargo.
Yeah, I think the turn I attacked with my 2.
Wounds only make us stronger.
The turn I attacked with my 2 3/3s and traded one of them off, so then they only had to kill one to hit us with Swain. The turn they hit us from 12 to 6 was definitely a mistake. Should have left my 2 things back there and just direct damage to their face to trigger my champion level up, and then had better blockers. mean, if Swain's leveled and hits the opposing Nexus, it's probably a good game. If he's not leveled, I don't know that I strictly agree with that. I feel like I want more Babbling Berg. Card's so good. What percent of games do you think come down to tactical decisions rather than lucky subs, lucky draws compared to Magic? It just like an astronomical amount.
Fight or die.
Magic if you, and this is part of just like part of what's made me frustrated with Magic in recent memory too. Magic, if you have some base heuristics under your belt and understand some simple gameplay things, a lot of the things that win and lose games of Magic aren't in-game decisions a lot of the time. Making optimal in-game decisions in games of Magic tends to be fairly straightforward a lot of the time these days. Hey, Silverfuse, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream this evening. What does back row mean? Yes, that's exactly what it means, Zero. It means things down here on the bench. So he explicitly does not stun things that are in combat currently. Oh, did we play? I should pay more attention to usernames. You might use Innkeeper here instead of Idol. Why? Can you explain? I want to get my champions leveling on their turn. And Innkeeper doesn't really do anything, right? I'm at 19. This like... I don't really need swings with Idol on defense. I want my Idols to trigger on their turn to level my dudes up. Also, I could just like play Innkeeper and do this now. So like I get like 2 triggers on their turn and I get extra ones here. I think we just open attacks here.
Leave nothing standing.
Nothing to nothing.
Buy me a flaming loop.
We're definitely the beatdown here. Opponent's going to be deep probably as soon as next turn. So Johnny can hopefully help us a little bit there.
Coming in hot.
Alright, what are we doing here? Is it just Grifter? I think it's just Grifter. You try to avoid dabbing until they're deep? Yeah, that's fair. We just play another Monkey Idol then? I feel like if I'm putting a second Monkey Idol into play, I want more of them on my turn, but I guess with this it's about the same. I think I need to just use some of my mana here. And I think you're right that nabbing before they're deep is probably a mistake. The rebalance on this card. The change they made to this card in 1.6 was really one that I love. How they didn't just make the card strictly worse, they just made it different. So like, before the last patch, this card did 2 damage when it died, but it only had 1 toughness. So they made it less burn, but more durable, which is neat. Really liked the number of different knobs that they have to play with in a game like this, and how well they seem to use them. Now I'm going to go ahead and make it rain, so this can't kill either of these. This will also give me plunder for my black market merchant, which is nice. Really, in my mind, the Grenadier change really cemented to me how well they understand the tools that they have available to them.
Going harvesting.
I think I'm just gonna Innkeeper here and keep this.
What will you have?
So Johnny's gonna level it into turn, or our next turn. Next damage Johnny's gonna level. Yeah, I agree with that completely, Dividend. In Runeterra, almost every game I lose, I look back and I go, man, I really could have made these decision points differently. And whereas, like, in Magic for the last little bit, I look back on games and I go, man, they got really lucky. Or, man, that matchup sucked.
Pain is nothing.
Hippity! Thank you for the 2 entire years of support. I appreciate that. The turbo portion of our deck name means we're looking to level up our champions as quickly as possible.
We'll see who feasts tonight.
That's unfortunate. So, Obliterate Fish here. 7/7 because they're deep. They have 15 or fewer cards in their deck. Gets bigger. Now, Monkey Idol happens here. I'm on 8 total mana. That's a great draw. So if they attack and I get to block with the Powder Monkey, my Riptide Rex is live, which is nice. If they have Maokai, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Or Nautilus. Sorry, not Maokai, Nautilus. Sorry, I meant Nautilus. Maokai Shadow Isles. Sorry. For people in chat who are about to actually be. I meant this card.
I was forged by winter. You own what you take.
Yep, their attack is done here. I'd be pretty surprised if we get to attack with both of these next turn. Like, opponents got so many cards in their hand. Again, this, like, isn't Magic with Teferi. They have a lot of mana available next turn. A lot of cards to make decisions with. Correct. Rex is not stellar here. Well, then. At least they don't have good attacks. Wait. Okay. Weird. I was like, okay, so they were on like 0 for half a second. Then I was like, yeah, it could be right to Grifter here. I agree with that. Just a visual bug there. Yeah, Gangplank can proc a freeze, but they could kill Sejuani or use Nautilus's Riptide to get rid of Sejuani.
I am reborn of salt and pride. The flames nor the depths can claim me.
Yeah, I'm not sure we could beat a Riptide, right? Like, there's only 8 cards left in their deck here, so, like, pretty high probability that they have a Riptide. Now, I have the Warning Shot as insurance, so we get to attack here.
Off with ye.
Yeah, our nabbed cards are not deep yet.
No outsiders.
Try me.
And you can see here when I mouse over this, it shows that things getting frostbitten.
I will not rest. Take my time.
So have to do that before Riptide happens. So that way we take the power off all their things. That being said, our opponent's going to get to open attacks here next turn and probably kill us. Like all of these are huge and we no longer have Sejuani in play. Yeah, we're infinite away from deep. This deck felt pretty rough. Last time we played this archetype, it felt a little bit underwhelming too. I feel like this deck lacks the ability to consistently be aggressive enough to get under things like the deep, like we just saw there. And it also doesn't quite have the appropriate tools to be controlling enough against the aggro decks a lot of the time. Like, if you look at, like, our actual list of cards that are interactive, it's not that many. So we're just kind of like this kind of awkward, chunky aggro deck. If you mess with spell-heavy decks, yeah, I played a little bit of everything here. We usually play 2 to 3 Runeterra decks a day. You can find lots of stuff on my website and my YouTube channel. Everything gets posted there. I think Fizz Teemo is probably my favorite spell-heavy deck. Vi Darius, a bit of a brew. Darius probably means something aggressive, which I think means I probably want to keep all of these, honestly. Maybe Ruthless Raider's not good if they're aggressive. I think I'm going to do this now, just so I get the Gangplank trigger on my turn. You think this deck's good against Ash Sejuani? You know, that deck hasn't, there hasn't been a ton of Ash Sejuani on our ladder match the last couple days. Hey, J-Ray, thanks for the 24 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. We'll pass in case they have another 1-drop. Just going to go ahead and 1-for-1 this Make It Rain, because again, it triggers my Gangplank. And then next turn we get to Monkey Idol. They give Vi Trample with Kato to deal lots of damage. Sure, it seems sweet. So this gets hit us for a little bit here, but I get to block with Powder Monkey. How do we feel about Tavern Keeper heal this? I think I like it. And I get to trade with a 4-3 here. It means I don't get to play this with Plunder, but I think that's fine. My Make It Rain gets to kill this next turn, which is nice. So we're going to take 1-3 and Trample here. They'll take 1 and trigger the level on these. Sure. Two defense here still isn't very good. I think with this draw, I open on attacks with this. That way I can double Black Market Merchant this turn. These will both be leveled starting on their next turn. I made it myself.
Explosives primed.
Stealing Alliance cards is not stellar. It is an incredibly weak 5.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I want to commit something to the board. The question is, what? How do you feel about just passing here and see if they commit something else first? It might be right to just Sejuani You like Grifter? Grifter just gets hooked by Vi, right? I think I'm fine with Vi having attack. I think I want to just preserve my life total here. I feel like as this game goes long, I'm more likely to win. I guess playing the Sejuani here means that if they have the +3 Overwhelm card, they could hook my Sejuani and trade. But I think that's fine. These are both going to be leveled starting next turn. So when Powder Monkey dies, both of these are leveling. Which is pretty good.
Where it hurts. Eat this. My turn. Is that all? Only the strong survive.
So, easy Gangplank to start next turn.
Bilgewater is mine and mine alone.
Yep. Two giant overwhelming champions here. Overwhelm, again, for those new to Runeterra, is similar to Trample from Magic. Only Overwhelm's a little bit more powerful in this game than Trample is in Magic, just because blocking is 1-to-1 in this game. I want to order the Powder Monkey first here, so that way when this dies when striking, it triggers Sejuani, frostbiting all their stuff. Oh, I guess I also have this trigger happening that does that, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, if we didn't have Gangplank here, that would be important.
Let's get a good look at you.
They should block this here because this has Overwhelm. That just doesn't matter. They're dead if they don't have anything. It's still a good habit to get into, ordering the Powder Monkey first, correct? Yeah, and again, going back to talking about things like player agency and stuff like that, like the fact that the order of your attackers matters is a big part of what gives so much depth and decision making to this game. Yeah, still dead.
Enforcer down.
Make it rain. I don't have anything feeling the pain, just something's dying.
Drink up. The taverns will sing our tale this eve.
The taverns will sing our tale. Gangplank's out for glory, chat. He will live on. In general, I request that you be respectful to my opponents while you're in my chat. Anything that you would say about my play that I would time you out for, I'm going to time you out for saying about my opponent's play. So, to give an example of what I mean, don't just say that play's bad or they made a lot of mistakes, you know. Focus on being constructive and specific. Help people learn. It's very frequent that people come back and watch streams when they play against me, and they want to see what people thought of our matches, and people crapping on them in chat just like, isn't nice. However, if you see a mistake that they make with known information, you could say, hey, they could probably make this play better, and this is the reason why. That's helpful. But again, don't just be mean. Alright. Is it crazy to take... I kind of want to just take 3 here, and then start on Make It Rain into Black Market plus this next turn, I think. One of the things to keep in mind, especially with, like, you know, how did they get to Masters while making mistakes, is just think about how often you personally play Runeterra, and Runeterra is the only thing you're doing, right? Like, frequently, like, even myself, right? Like, I'm playing Runeterra while I'm streaming. Even when I'm playing off-stream, I'm frequently playing Runeterra while I have small children behind me or around in the area. It is a very good nab. You are not wrong. The Blevins! Thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So, like, it's easy to write people off as being bad, but you don't consider that, like, hey, they're probably playing while distracted. That's just how reality works for most of us. There's Swain Twisted Fate. I think I hold this for Twisted Fate, because we can parlay to kill this. Might Death Sand the 3-2. Maybe. I don't know. I think saving this for a Twisted Fate has a lot of appeal, especially since I can get, my trigger for the turn for my champions off of parlay. Don't kill the poor who have a heart. Sorry, I'm a monster. Yeah, often have a show, or like, you know, how often are you watching a Twitch stream while you play, right? Something people frequently do. Huh?
Safety will cost you.
Nailed it. We've been so lucky on these alliances so far today.
Let's take this outside. Get Barnacle!
Why are you here?
Really? Okay, so they like have another Make It Rain or a parlay of their own? These are at 2 out of 5. I think I'm on a warning shot here to get my, I'm on a warning shot to get my level in. Since I have 2 of them, plus I have this Death Stand still. The sound design in general in this game is fantastic. This card game feels more alive than any other digital card game I've ever played because of the character interactions. Did a quite fantastic job on that overall. Definitely Make It Rain here to start.
I've whipped up something special.
I think I'm babbling here now, so I have good blocks in combat.
Blazing bright as torches.
So unfortunately, we're attacking on odds, which makes Riptide Rex a little bit worse.
Ever consider a henshin career?
Ah! Well then.
You own what you take.
I think I'm just putting this into play to get damage pushing here.
Born for conquest.
I'm gonna hook this here, so this way if they kill this still dies. Definitely a shark. It means I haven't zoomed in on his artwork recently enough. I think this is my favorite piece of art in the game, which is a tough contest, because like there's a lot of great art in this IP. Alright, so now if I do this, not only does this not happen, but when this happens, we level Sejuani, which is great here. Well, poop. That's fine. I know Sejuani just said well fought, but it definitely sounded like well fart. Fire the cannons! Shark eats both. Savor the flavor, chat. Savor the flavor. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to open here. For those that are new to Runeterra, open attacks means we're going to attack before we play anything else out. Because remember, while we could develop our board to attack with the things we develop, that also gives our opponent a chance to develop their board. So if we start the turn by attacking, they don't get to deploy blockers first. And then if this draws a warning shot, they're dead. So good chance Zap kills them here. I'm gonna shark us back.
You gotta believe me! Oh, you and your stories. There'll be blood in the water.
And I played the Tavern Keeper here rather than Zap first, because if they were gonna shark us, I didn't want this to die, and there's a good chance this finds us something lethal. I don't know the spell base offhand. Are there any blanks here that don't kill them? I'm not sure there. I think Make It Rain and what's it called? Definitely kill them. Zap was 100% lethal. Okay. Oh, Parlay too. I thought there was a third one, but Parlay's lethal as well. Yeah. Make It Rain, Parlay, and Warning Shot are all lethal there. We almost farmed back our ladder points that we lost with the combo deck. We started at 1. We did start around there. We were up to 69 at one point. Someone tweeted a 69 picture out. Because it was nice. Oh no, the mirror. Alright, shit. I'm kind of in for all of these, I think. I think this guy's my favorite pet in the game right now. I'm using a variety of pets to show off the ones that I have, but this guy's adorable. Alright, so we get a little punished by Elixir, but I think I'm supposed to take one from this and bank a spell mana here, so that way I can parlay plus Black Market Merchant next turn. So like I'm giving them a trigger, but I'm getting a trigger plus doing this. It's close. If they have Elixir, I just like kind of curl up in a ball and cry here over my decision. Alright, everything worked out.
The winter's claw strikes.
That's pretty good.
Nice selection speaks for itself.
Oh, I'm supposed to attack there. I didn't attack because I clicked through it. This would have been a good trade. They probably would have taken it. I missed 2 points of damage.
You'll fight or you'll swim.
Yeah, so if they end this game at 2, that's on me. So we're gonna attack here. We'll trade. We'll play a 3/3 post combat. Good games, Wonder.
There's plenty of killing left.
Good to see you playing some Runeterra. I saw you live the other night when I was scrolling the category. I think someone hosted you. I think someone hosted you. I forget. So this is tough. So Parlay does not kill her. I think I want to just Grifter here.
Yeah, you don't want to cross me.
Nailed it.
I'm not greedy. My friends, though.
And this attack is great with the free Parlay here. Like, this attack with the free Parlay is just absurd.
Boys.
Our shark is so happy about that parlay, chat.
Dead men tell my tale.
Well, poop. Am I just grifting here? I think we're grifting, right?
Yeah, you don't want to cross me.
Break their legs.
I think I'm taking a full hit here because Sejuani kills this next turn regardless. Now, do they have a Sejuani as well is the question.
You own what you take.
Is that Omen Hawk Sejuani as well? So, what if we do this and burn a warning shot to level to kill their powder keg? Is that too aggressive of a use of this? These are pretty valuable once Sejuani's leveled.
Bring me chaos.
Yeah, I could also like just do this and then make it rain is likely hits them. Let's do this to start and see what happens. Sick. Just like we drew it up.
You die
The winter's claw endures.
You know the value of coin.
So their things are gonna level up. And then we're gonna have some freezy fights. Oh, we're definitely warning shotting.
Only the strong survive.
I am reborn of salt and pride.
One Rex, please.
Right on my tail.
For conquest. Show them our teeth.
Blocking doesn't do anything here because they're also getting frostbitten. Yeah, it's also not good against Fury. Oh, I passed. I should have played Monkey Idol. It's actually a really big mistake.
Up before they know they're bleeding.
I do have their elusive. Which is nice.
You die slow. Ready, Rex? Not yet. Good to go. Let her rip.
Oh, we could just play the new Sejuani. That would let me kill Gangplank. See, look at this idiot on stream. How did he get into Masters? Forgot to play the Monkey Idol out last turn.
Prove your worth.
I know, we're very dead. See, chat,
These wounds only
the easiest way to tell that this deck's not very powerful is the good Runeterra decks allow me to win even when we make ham-fisted mistakes like that. A good deck will help drag you kicking and screaming across the finish line. Ooh, spooky Israel. Man, the range of things we've played against in the last hour is just, like, so impressive. That's true. We also should just draw more short cannons. I think I'm in for the make it rain and the warning shots. I don't think their decks tends... I don't think this archetype tends to be too aggressive. Monkey Idol's a great draw. I don't know the exact composition of these lists. Like, the opponent's archetype also isn't, like, super well established, so there's some variations in it, too.
the winter's claw.
Because I have Sejuani in hand there, I could have maybe been more aggressive with Warning Shot and Black Market Merchant that turn. The opponent's deck is listed as A tier and Mobilytics. I guess I should look there. It wasn't last time I looked. They must have updated it since then.
I thought you'd never ask.
Should probably make a point to check that more periodically. Yeah, it is in there. So...
Watch and learn.
just like we drew it up, champ. Good players draw good cards, chat. Drawing good cards is not just limited to your own deck in Runeterra, chat. There's two decks you need to practice drawing good cards off of. Get in here with the monkey, get to Merchant and Jagged Butcher here. Remember, even if they kill this, it deals the damage on the last breath, which is nice. Really? We're trading a spider to gain one? Sure. I guess we're a Make It Rain deck, so it doesn't seem terrible. Spider could have potentially been collateral damage anyways. What deck did we play to Masters? We played a bunch of things. So if you're new to the channel, a lot of the decks that I play here are viewer submissions. The last deck we were playing when we did like the final 5 matches or so was Fizz Teemo Tempo. You should keep track of your win-loss progress when you stream it with which deck. I think that's pointless. So, the sample sizes... So, this isn't a stream where I sit and play the same deck for 6 hours. And if I'm only playing a deck for less than 2 hours, the raw number of wins and losses that I get is far less useful of a metric than my gut feelings and instincts about the deck. Because even if we play, you know, 1 game per 10 minutes for 2 hours, like 12 games is not a statistically significant sample size. This is only at 2 out of 5. That's awkward. Yeah, do I just Sejuani to, like, stop the Ezreal from hitting us? I feel like that's probably right.
You own what you take.
And then, like, next turn, we can go, like, Yordle, Grifter into Thermo Beam, potentially. Hey, Gorkbox, thanks for the 25 months. Welcome back.
Safety will cost you.
Oh, I guess they do have Ruination mana here. Maybe I'm supposed to open attacks. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to open attacks there because of Ruination. Yeah, definitely a Ruination deck. It's a 9-mana spell that kills all the stuff. Yeah, like, things... It's not about keeping life, it's about quality of life for viewers. I always love when I give that speech about how the sample size isn't statistically significant, so it's a meaningless metric. And then 9 times out of 10 after I explain that, the person always comes back and is like, but Jeff, track the statistically insignificant sample size for me. It's like, well... If you wanted to have a discussion with me about why it's not or something, like the argument that I should keep track of the data that's statistically insignificant. Okay, here's a good thing to know. It's also effort to track. So you want me to spend effort to give you something that's not meaningful. And here's another thing a lot of people don't understand. Having a small amount of bad data is not better than having no data. That's not true. That's something that people often make the mistake of assuming, and it's something that we as a society, like past just card games, would be better off of. Having a small amount of data, at what point is it deemed statistically significant? Mid triple digits, low 4 digits. I would encourage you to take thousands. Thousands is what I would say. Which is why Mobalytics can provide us with useful data, because Mobalytics has those large sample sizes collected from lots of people. A lot of, and like I said, it's not even a card game thing. People frequently make the assumption that having, what if I Warning Shot into Jagged Butcher here? That's probably wrong, so I could draw Shark. Okay, I'm gonna start by attacking with these before they can sweep the board. Yeah, this card, we should probably have more Bergs in this deck. It's real good. Real good. This guy's just, like, insane in everything. Two Ezreal Spider. Are they gonna kill us? Or do they have a... Oh, I bet they have another Harrowing for next turn. We'll bet money they have another Harrowing, because if they have another Harrowing, they get to put 4 Ezreals into play next turn.
I'm not greedy. My friends, though.
And there's nothing we can do about that, right?
How can I help?
He started without me.
How good are the games? The combo deck we played to start tonight was good. This deck's been a little underwhelming.
Hey, Mom stood out a yodeling uniform. No way.
Alright, now, they spent their spell mana there. So, like, do they have another Harrowing? This is an incredible draw. When isn't Cannon Shark an incredible draw? Like, when exactly Nautilus is in play? Is the only time you're not super excited? End the round, open attacks, right?
You gotta believe me.
So they get a free block here, but that's fine. I'm so confused. Were they not expecting us to... They must have not been expecting us to pass there. They were trying to bait us and got punished for it? Yeah, the priority system in this game gives you so much room to punish people. It's really just incredibly skill testing and rewarding. The ins and outs, understanding how it goes. The fluid turn trick. I think what had to have happened was they passed assuming we were gonna make a play, and then we didn't, and we opened attacks and we killed them. Yeah, understanding when you're supposed to pass and burn people's mana is huge. It takes some getting used to. Maokai Kalista. Does Maokai mean they're probably more controlling? Kalista's usually an aggressive champion, but Maokai's usually a little bit more mid-range control. Mulligan Tavern Keeper. Yeah, that's a reasonable line too. Sometimes you're only out as your opponent making a mistake. Definitely been there. I get aggressive with this. I like how you timed him out before I could hippity. Contrary to what some people will tell you, people making good plays does not mean they're ghosting chat. Just like, don't assume the worst in people. Oh! No, it can't be normal deep, right? Hey, Sampon, welcome to a live one. I have a pretty good viewer count. I might do a third deck after this one. Do I want to make it rain and black market merchant? I think the answer is yes, because it triggers my Sejuani and Gangplank this turn. And with both of these in hand, I think getting that down is important. I guess getting them, this kind of gets them deep sooner. What time do I normally stream? So this is, right now is pretty far outside of my normal time zone for streaming. Usually I stream from about 11 a.m. Central till about 2 to 4 p.m. Central, depending on how long I'm going. You can always find my schedule with not only when I'm going to be live, but what I'm going to be live with when up on my website. Am I attacking? Make it rain. And see what they do. This lets me trade with their Thorny Toad and it clears out their 1/1. It also guaranteed hits me my level up trigger for these, which is nice. Sure, Blitz. And by the way, for people that are watching, if you're new and you take a peek at my schedule and it doesn't line up with your normal watch time, absolutely everything I stream gets cut up and put on my website and my YouTube channel. There's a lot of good ways to catch up there, and I cut it up deck by deck, so it's very easy to search back through just the decks you care about up there. So still only 3 out of 5. If I play this and make a powder keg, it's just gonna die. If treasures from the sea monster get tossed, they are instead drawn. Hey, Blitz, thanks for the tip. Yeah, all right. They're gonna trigger this really quickly. It's not only a lot of saplings, but it's like double tossing, right? Thresh Ash next, please. Sounds good. Yeah, eating one with Sejuani is probably our best play. Unfortunately, they have Vengeance up here. So we could just end up seeing this die. Actually, I'd probably hook it with the Shipwreck Quarter. So that way, if they want to save their thing, they have to kill this. Although, I guess hooking it with Shipwreck Quarter means they can save it with Grasp, which isn't great. Alright. For folks that are new to there, wondering what Blitz was talking about with the deck queue and bumping something to up next, the decks that I intend to play on my stream and the order in which I intend to play them can also be found on my site. A lot of the decks we play are viewer submissions. There's a point system up there. When people submit things, I play them in the order based on their points. Yeah, their deck's been super impressive here. And again, I feel like we are, again, just kind of struggling here. Like, our deck hasn't been super aggressive, and we're not super interactive, and it feels like the opponent's deck's just, like, doing their thing and running us down because we can't disrupt them. And, like, our aggro plan wasn't really good enough to keep up here, basically, to run them down before they got set up. They could have, like, Atrocity. I think I'm chumping. If I block here, so this is linked to this, so if I block here, Kali still lives and this dies, then I don't take anything. I don't know, maybe that's wrong and I'm supposed to just, like, try to fade Atrocity. I unfortunately don't have a way. Oh, wait, I do. So if I Gangplank, this Gangplank turns into a parlay, and I can parlay their dome and level these. Hey, Frankie Peanuts, thank you for the 19 months. I appreciate you keeping me around. I'm glad you're enjoying Runeterra stuff too. Yeah, Vengeance is tough. Maokai is 3 things away from leveling here.
Explosives.
8 mana total.
Their bones are splintered.
So I put Runeterra decks up on my website. So there's a page here for all my Runeterra videos. And then all of the deck lists that are played in those videos can be found in the video descriptions. Oh, this levels the Maokai. Yeah, no. I could have dealt damage to everything to, like, kill the Maokai there, but yeah, I'm gonna be done with this one and move on to the next one.
This isn't the end.
As an overall beginner, are there any viable linear decks this game? My recommended aggro deck right now would be the Bannerman Scouts, or Girl Scouts, depending on what you look at it. If you click on the, it's the Misfortune Quinn deck. If you look on Mobalytics, it's up there, but it's also in my YouTube playlist as well. I played that pretty recently. Yeah, I feel like my opinions on playing this deck are basically the same as the last time we played it. I was pretty underwhelmed overall. Just to summarize, it kind of felt like what mid-range decks in Magic have had issues with most recently, which is that, like, the aggressive plan in this deck doesn't get under people consistently, and the mid-rangier controlling plan, if you just, like, look at the amount of interaction that this deck is playing, it's just not playing a lot, and the interaction that it is playing is, like, pretty narrow and specific, so this one felt like a pretty big miss for me. I do think that the thing this deck is trying to do, which is level your champions quickly, is something that it's very good at doing. It accomplishes that well and consistently. The problem is the payoff of leveling both of these champions often doesn't win us the game based on how their board's able to build up around us. Nobody really quits Magic. People just take breaks. I encourage you to watch my update video here if you're looking for information on that. Bannerman Scouts. Yeah, I think the Bannerman Scouts deck is a little bit more aggressive than the Barrier Bannerman deck. I don't know that it's strictly better so much as it's just different. Polarizing matchups. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so this game has so many varied archetypes in it that I think if a deck is mostly polarized matchups, that also means it's just not good. Various streams around the evenings now. Well, tomorrow I'll be back to my normal time, so I'll be kicking off at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're going to do one more deck tonight, though. Let me grab it out of the deck queue here. So, Thresh, Ash, Harrowing. I am going to get this bad boy here uploaded to my Mobilytics and tweet out that we're doing one more deck. And I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I do that. So, I'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.